ProWrestlingSheet.com.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of the Collider Body Slam SmackDown Recap. Hey, you going, where's the Raw recap? Well, we're going to talk about that in just a second, but let's introduce ourselves first. As always, I am John Rocha, one of your hosts for the show, joined by my man who runs the Pro Wrestling Sheet, Ryan Satin. How are you feeling, brother? What's going on?
I'm feeling okay. I'm hoping that this all records this time. I know Remsen's still watching, so I shouldn't say too much. But yeah, no. For those of you who are just listening, I was hanging my head in shame as Rocha was mentioning the Raw recap because I'm so bummed. I honestly I love these shows that Rocha and I do.
Yeah.
But that was maybe one of the best shows we've had. He and I got into it over a whole list of things.
Yeah.
We had solid discussion. We got into it when it came to Ruby Riott and Ronda Rousey. He explained to me a bunch of sports things when it came to Elias and Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
I was very happy with the episode.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who are bummed about the episode not going out, just know I am even more bummed than you are. We're both more bummed than you are. We both spent an hour in here talking.
Yeah.
Both happy with the conversation, and then literally as we're talking in the closing moments about Shawn Michaels, DX, Brothers of Destruction, all that kind of stuff, Thad pops his head in here and he's like, "Hey guys," and we're like, "Hey, are we over in time or something?" And he's like, "No, none of this recorded. The computer crashed. We're very sorry." They tried to find it in the back. There is a lot of you were like, "Well, wasn't there a backup system?" There is a backup system in place because the computer crashed. It was not picked up on the backup. So I apologize very much. I'm sure there are things in this discussion where we'll mention some of the things on Raw as well, but I'll be honest with you guys. We could have gone. We maybe could have later in the day recorded a Raw recap still, but it would have just been such inorganic conversations. We really it's so hard to recreate a conversation that you already had. You're either trying to create the conversation that you already had again, or it just feels so boring. You've already had it. It's not fun. It's not interesting. So I apologize. Trust me. If there's anyone who is unhappy about this, the most, it is me. It is I, the guy who has to put content on the website and in the video page and in the podcast feed. So I apologize. Really, I apologize.
Yeah, it was a good discussion. We went on and on about Ruby Riott and versus the Ronda Rousey thing. We both found ourselves on opposite sides of it. And of course, the Brothers of Destruction. We were wrapping up, like he said. There was so much to talk about. The Shield matches, how great that elevated Raw, that episode of Raw, all kinds of stuff. But Ryan's right. If we repeat ourselves, it doesn't feel authentic. It feels inorganic, and I've had this happen maybe twice before in very long episodes of the Top 10 show.
And on a longer episode too.
We've been an hour and 45 minutes in before we realized, we had to take 10 minutes, get super pissed, then adjust and come back and re-record a whole entire episode.
It's not fun. I've done it before. I've done it before too. It's literally the worst. I usually will wait a full day because I have to
smart.
I need it all to come back to me so I can at least feel to me I was having an authentic conversation. Because I've had that happen on a long one that too. And it is really, really frustrating.
Yeah.
And a lot of you watching this have your own podcasts and stuff. You know how I'm sure you've all dealt with this kind of thing. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not the most technical person, so I have to rely on others sometimes for these things. There's only so much I can do. So once again, I do apologize, but I gotta say I like this episode of SmackDown.
Yeah, it was a good episode of SmackDown. Very lady wrestler heavy, which I liked.
Didn't even think about it until you said that now, but it was.
It was very much so, and I think they know they're set. It looks like Raw they're using to set up the Australia show. And they're using SmackDown to set up Evolution. It just feels that way in a way, a send-off show, so to speak. Not necessarily 100% yet, because obviously that's next week, but it feels they were starting the engine to do the setup shows for Evolution. We start off with Paige coming out, doing her thing, talking about how Joe was arrested and how AJ Styles' family is okay. We had all of that, but then she said there were charges filed, and Joe was arrested for trespassing, all that kind of stuff. And then AJ Styles comes in on Saturday, and he says, he's dropping the charges. He didn't quite go far enough for me to keep the charges. He wants him to go through with the match. What a surprise. But he said something weird. He said he's going to bury Joe. Joe's not coming back from Australia. I don't know what that means. He's going to bury him in the barrier reef. He's going to drown him.
Well, he said, no, even worse. He said, I'm going to bury him alive.
Bury him alive. What does that mean?
And then everyone I shouldn't yell. Excuse me, I'm yelling. It makes the thing go up. I heard it that time. I'm getting better with this.
You heard the spike.
Yeah, I heard the spike. But I saw it all over social media where when he said that, everyone was like, "Oh, damn! Are they going to do Buried Alive match?" And they were like, "No, it's just a no DQ match." You know,
right.
I would have been cool with it being a Buried Alive match. Yeah. It's a match that hasn't been used in a long time. I can't remember the last time I saw a Buried Alive match.
Right.
But maybe I was thinking maybe they're gonna go to a weird wasn't like Paul Bearer putting cement or something like that back in the day, right?
Yeah.
I almost wonder if they're gonna go that route with it, and that's why they did the Buried Alive thing, and they're gonna make it factor into the match somehow, because it was weird how much they focused on it as the selling point right there. Yeah. When they have to think that majority of wrestling fans that watch the show are familiar with the concept of a Buried Alive match.
Of course they are.
So I think a lot of people are like, "Whoa, is it Buried Alive?" Oh, no, it's not. Right. I also want to give props to Wendy Styles. I want to give props to her interior design work. I think Wendy Styles, those nice throw pillows. Yes. Literally, I saw someone pointed this out to me on Twitter, and I'm sorry that I don't have your handle here. Yeah. But a couple people pointed this out to me on Twitter that AJ's. That shot of AJ, it looked like the cutscenes on Modern Family where you see the dad sitting there talking. Ty Burrell, isn't that his name? Ty something?
Yeah, Ty Burrell.
Yeah, Ty Burrell, where you see him talking. It looked kind of like those, like he was the dad on Modern Family talking. And I love that in this whole feud, every time AJ Styles gets real serious, it looks like an after school special again. Does. You know, like when he was sitting on the stairs in the empty arena, it looked all after school specially, and then this one too, where it's sitting on the couch, real serious, talking to the camera. 100% look like an after school special. But at the same time, I love different things. Mm-hmm. And there's something I've said throughout this whole feud at different points of this or that doesn't make it, this or that does or doesn't make AJ Styles seem like a bad dad. Yeah. This one made him look like a good dad, finally. It was I'm not leaving my home until I know AJ Styles is en route to Australia.
Right.
I loved that. I thought that was great. I thought they played that up well. I was frustrated that considering Joe was getting, even though I know it was on his phone, I'm frustrated. Actually, since it was on his phone, I guess it makes sense that we didn't get the rest of the footage. Right. So that was kind of smart of them to do it that way. Now I almost understand why they didn't do it sideways. So it was clear he was on his phone doing it himself.
Right.
But yeah, no, I really, if there's any match I'm looking forward to at Super Showdown, it is this one, and it's also Becky Lynch and Charlotte.
Yeah, and I think they don't have to promote this one that hard, which is why they did something like this. It's just AJ being interviewed, he can carry the promo himself, doing the things that he's doing, and Paige being there, of course, a strong promo artist herself. That works in so many ways as well. But the Samoa Joe thing is fascinating to me on so many levels, because what is going to happen here? If AJ loses, what happens? Does he lose his wife? Does he lose his family? Does he go into a deep depression? Whatever. You say there's no way to lose it because of the game coming out. But I don't know what the other option is.
Burying him alive.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Even with the game coming out, you've still got a guy burying someone alive. A father burying someone alive.
I feel like in this instance, if your dad buried a dude alive who was trying to break into your house, I don't think you'd be freaked out about it. You'd be like, yeah, my dad's a badass.
He's a badass. But if I was sitting in the audience as a 12-year-old, watch this guy talking about burying another man alive, it's like, Daddy, what does that mean, burying alive? He's going to kill him.
As a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old who watched Mick Foley get buried alive numerous times, I can tell you with certainty that I'm fine. Well, I'm fine to a certain degree, but I'm fine for the most part. So I don't think it'd be that bad.
Okay. Buried alive.
Especially such a terrible person like Samoa Joe is right now. I mean, Samoa Joe is killing the game right now. Samoa Joe is absolutely killing the game, similar to Wendy's interior design. Interior styles. She should start her own interior decorating company. I'm sorry. I'm getting too deep in the rabbit hole here. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. Great way to start out the show. Yeah. And I really feel like Paige is coming into her own when it comes to GM.
Once she sits back and lets it happen, she's great. When she tries to be too participatory, tries to always get the last word, it doesn't work. Not every exchange is I have to win this exchange. It does not work. In wrestling, no one wins the exchange every single time. That's what makes us enjoy, because it's very human. So the last few months, she's really tried to win every exchange back and forth, and it hasn't worked except with Miz. Miz took her to town. Miz gave her a lesson on how to do that. And so seeing her lay back a little bit, I agree. She's coming into her own. It's more confident. It took some time to get the rhythm. That's just what happens. It's experience.
Yeah, did you see the Psycho Sid thing I put up today?
No. I've been so busy today. I'm sorry.
You're a busy man here, Clatter. I know. Psycho Sid. He got interviewed. He did a shoot interview thing, and
what?
And he blasted Paige basically blasted WWE for having for having Paige be the GM on SmackDown because of her her adult content that leaked on the internet. And he said that he would have fired her for that. And it's like, she got hacked. You would have fired her for getting her phone hacked?
Yeah.
What a weird thing to say. And he was he had a whole thing about it. You should go watch the video. It's weird.
I love when these wrestlers find God. They crack me the fuck up. They crack me the fuck up. They're doing all these terrible characters when they're heels. That's my job. Fuck you. You're still doing something really crazy and strange that kids are watching.
Sid Vicious stabbed Arn Anderson multiple times in a fight in a hotel room.
Yeah.
So he has no place to be talking about
exactly
who should or shouldn't be fired from their job. He was made a world champion after he stabbed Arn Anderson multiple times.
Why don't you go fix that broken ankle, old man? Seeing him hobble down the aisle, that's been ridiculous when he came out a few years ago. Anyway, R-Truth and Carmella took on Cien Almas and Zelina Vega. I like this match. This was fun. Once again, you get more with R-Truth and Carmella. I can't believe I'm cheering for Carmella as a heel. I can't believe how much I'm enjoying this transition, and I think she found a good foil in Zelina. They had a nice back and forth on social media. See, and she gets it. Some people get it. Some people don't. I like the vibe that's happened with Carmella and Zelina, and then they brought into this match. And her reversal on her worked. Yes, could you see the spots coming with the swings and the misses? Yeah, that's fine, but it still works in the rhythm of the wrestling. I enjoyed the match.
But
yeah, go ahead, Ryan.
If we went back in time a little bit, to when we were initially starting the show, and we were talking about Carmella and stuff.
Yeah,
I pointed out how I thought that she had it in her, but that
you did.
Her role was not to use those moves. And I feel like this match was proof that she had it in her, because she wasn't doing moves that were getting her cheered.
Right.
She was purposely trying to not do things that would get her cheered.
Yeah.
So when she's trying to get cheered, she's doing all the spots. She's doing all the fun moves. I mean, she's, Hurricane Ranas and flying around. And even that reversal thing was dope.
It was.
The way the match finished. When she rolled into that was badass.
I agree.
I feel like, I hope that other people like you who were so anti-Carmella while she was champion and who felt like she didn't have the talent to necessarily warrant the position she was being given, I hope they're seeing this a little bit and being like, okay, maybe.
Yeah, and this happens. Look, I mean, everybody hated Rocky Maivia. It didn't mean he didn't have the talent.
Totally.
It just, they didn't like the way the character rolled out. I like the same thing with Carmella. I like Carmella being a heel. I thought she was a good heel. I didn't think she had the skills in the ring, but you can see here clearly she has been working on her game. And this started happening before the change happened. Yeah. So I like that she is come into this space. And it helps to have someone like R-Truth who builds your chemistry, or do you have good chemistry with, who builds you up as well with the fans and everything like that. So it all works out. And then you have someone like Zelina, who is a good, accomplished wrestler. She's wrestled for many, many years. So to roll with and have a chemistry with, that's just how it works. And I really dug what she's done. And if this keeps happening, because you're right, she's still doing the heel stuff. It's just because she's a face now, it's okay and people like it. When she rolled into that jawbreaker, she was like smiling as she was shoving Zelina's face into her legs to cut off her circulation. So it wasn't like she's gone full face and she's like, okay, I'm happy I beat you. It was more like, yeah, I gotcha.
I still think that when Mixed Match Challenge is over, at least when she's done,
do you think she's gonna go back to heel?
I think she's gonna beat up R-Truth and just get that all that face stuff. And then she's just going to be even more of a heel. People are going to be even angrier with her. Because I feel like they can't keep Carmella as a face for this for long. I feel like they're only doing this for Mixed Match Challenge.
Yeah.
So as much as I am enjoying Carmella as a face, I feel like it's going to be one of those instances where they build everyone up just to shove them right back down of like, no, put you in your... Like Kevin Owens loves to do, or like Alexa Bliss loves to do in a promo. I feel like we're getting that, but in storyline sense. But all that aside... I love the pairing of Carmella and R-Truth so much. Just like I loved her when she was with New Day. I mean, she's similar to Alicia Fox. When Alicia Fox gets paired with someone, like Alicia Fox might not be given tons of opportunities.
Right.
But when they do give her an opportunity, it's usually putting her with some random person, like, Noam Dar.
Yeah.
Or with a random group of female friends like Mickie James and Alexa Bliss, or the Bella Twins, or now Jinder Mahal. They love kind of throwing her in there as a utility player, just kind of help another act or whatever. And she always owns it.
Yep.
For the most part, she always owns it, always comes through, always plays the part well, always makes you laugh, always entertains you. So yeah, I think that it's similar here in the situation.
Yeah. Agreed. And we'll see how long this keeps going, because yes, it's fun, but Almas is getting lost here a little bit in this situation, being, roaming around with R-Truth stuff. Even though R-Truth was with Miz earlier, having a little bit of a program there. Now you've got Almas in this situation. We'll see how long this rivalry happens. But I feel like they had to put Almas somewhere to kind of keep him in the conversation, to keep him in front of people's eyes. But they're not necessarily getting near the title yet. So we'll see. Because he's got to get in that Jeff Hardy, Shinsuke Nakamura, Randy Orton, Ty Dillinger situation at some point and go for a belt. He's got to.
I mean, he should be getting it more than Ty Dillinger.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. That'll come up in a little bit later. Up now, the New Day. That's right. New Day Rocks. New Day Rocks came out with Mr. Bootyworth. What is your feelings about Mr. Bootyworth? First of all, do you like this whole thing? Did you like this segment with the bar coming out, attacking, and then standing over them?
I did. Did you not like this segment?
No, I've been hearing a lot of backlash from people, and I enjoyed the shit out of it.
Okay, that's why
I really did.
I said it hesitantly because I've seen a lot of shit for it on Twitter as well, and I was confused because I enjoyed this segment. One, Mr. Bootyworth is great.
It's funny as hell.
I tweeted this morning, but I would be very okay with Mr. Bootyworth becoming their permanent manager.
Absolutely. Or butler, whatever it was.
Whatever you want to call it, I would be cool with it. His stone cold face, not stone cold face, that's the wrong word, but it's just serious expression, everything about it. I love the tuxedo shirt. Yeah. Everything. I'm a big fan of Mr. Bootyworth. I'm assuming he's a writer or producer backstage or something like that. I'm all for Mr. Bootyworth becoming a permanent fixture of their, at least for a little while, becoming a part of their group. I didn't see the issue with this segment at all.
What are you hearing from people online? What are they complaining about?
I don't know. I just saw over because I watched it like a little later, and I after the fact saw people complaining about like, oh, that segment, was just like dumb, blah blah, and I was like, well, I laughed while I was watching it. Like, I'm still very entertained by New Day.
They can do anything, and it's
they
fun.
Can do no wrong, honestly, in my opinion. They're always entertaining. They're so fun. And the fact that like they were gonna give away their pancake secret, and the bar, being the ultimate heels, stopped the people from getting the pancake secret. Of course they did. That's great. That's fun. Like, how do you, as a wrestling fan who watches WWE, like, I get it if you don't watch WWE. Right. Like, if you don't watch WWE or you hate watch WWE, which I don't understand either, but if, because there are things I hate watch. Right. But I don't complain about them. Like, I hate watch it, but I enjoy. Of course. Like The Bachelor. Yeah. I hate watch The Bachelor with my girlfriend all the time, and it's not like I don't know, but I don't know how you can watch Raw and as a thing that you enjoy, like a thing that you actively enjoy watching every week, and see that segment and not enjoy it or think that it's out of the norm. Right. Like these are the things you see on WWE television for the past 20 years or whatever, at least my whole adult life. So not even my adult life, my childhood life, my entire life pretty much. Right. So yeah, I loved it. I thought it made the bar look like total assholes. Yeah. I thought it made Mr. Bootyworth look awesome. I thought that it was fun segment. I don't understand what I should look up what the complaints were. Yeah, because I saw the New Day do that. I mean, I saw the bar come in and just have a back and forth with them, then take them all out one by one, obviously setting up the tag team match that's coming up. And to me, I enjoyed the hell out of that. And Bootyworth, we get these characters that come on the show, and they're interesting, they're fun, they're different, they're new, and they kind of give new life to a bit or a team or an act that's been going on for quite some time. It works. I mean, Mr. Bootyworth is fantastic. I don't know what the issues are. Someone said, like, I wasn't a fan of this. Someone said, I wasn't a fan of that New Day bar segment. Just felt random. I know they're wrestling Saturday, but I don't know. Wasn't into it. Just me. And someone said,
because this was supposed to be. They did it last week. Bootyworth showed up last week or 2 weeks ago. So
yeah, I see like a lot of like. There's no one really like point out exactly what just the segment was dumb. Like
maybe they see themselves as Bootyworth, kind of a little overweight, putting the shirt on, and they're getting made fun of in front of all these crowds. Maybe they didn't like it. Well, deal with it, wrestling fans.
It felt too real to them.
Yeah, right. That could be me. I don't feel comfortable in this situation.
Are you excited for New Day versus The Bar?
I am.
Yeah,
I like
too.
The Bar. The Bar are just they've won me over the last couple of years with their abilities and their chemistry. Because when they were first put together, I felt like they were like Reigns. I felt like they were forcing these guys down our throat, and the audience completely rejected. Then they won that 7-match series, which everybody was like, "This is ridiculous."
Oh, and no one wanted it.
No one wanted it.
No
but
one wanted
persevered.
it. Yeah.
They persevered. But I think once again, like with Becky Lynch, their social media, Sheamus and Cesaro, the way they work it, they're not as active as Becky Lynch, but when they are, it's interesting, it's funny, it's fun, and those dudes really work well together. And they found a chemistry, and so you start to cheer for them, and they almost become underdogs because you hated them so much. You turn them into underdogs by hating them so much when they were trying to make them, top heels. And so to make it all come around full circle, I really enjoyed that. And so now I'm a big fan of them. And if they win the title, I wouldn't have an issue with it at all.
Yeah, it's weird. The whole time they were on Raw,
as
much as I love Cesaro, I think the stink of that 7-match series really just like stayed with that team to me, and I couldn't get into it. I tried, I couldn't get into them, and I think when they came back on SmackDown after that hiatus when they were gone, I said to you that Sheamus, like, I get excited when he's been gone for a long time, and then he comes back, and I'm like, oh, Sheamus is back, and then like it wears off really fast. But this is the first time in a while where that hasn't happened to me. I like that he almost, for a long time, Sheamus never felt like an extension of himself.
Yeah.
It never felt like himself with the volume turned up. It felt like a character. Even when he was like, first came back with the hair all weird and everything and did the whole change in look and music and everything. As much as like it felt like something that he liked, it didn't feel like him, And right now, this like kind of like soccer hooligan, bully, kind of like veteran guy who likes to kind of push his weight around feels like him. It feels like, obviously, like that's not him in real life. He seems like a very nice guy. But like I'm talking character-wise, it feels like an extension of himself with the volume turned up.
Right.
And I think that's why, and like you said, the social media thing, I really think did help them in their time away. They started to feel like an actual team. It didn't feel like two wrestlers who were thrown together because WWE didn't know what to do with either of them.
Right.
It's actually felt like two guys who are friends now that do the same things, that have the same interests, that are a team. And that team likes to kick people's asses.
Yeah.
So I'm the same way as you. I'd have no problem with them winning the tag titles right now.
And they're two wrestlers who are ferocious in different ways, who are powerful in different ways, and it's fun to see them work together. And they don't seem to have a weakness. And their matches, no matter how long or how short they are enjoyable to watch because they're really good wrestlers with a lot of skill and technique and understand how to carry a match, and that's fun. And of course, New Day does as well. So it's great to see these these 4 guys going at it.
I know I'm like super stoked about managers again. That managers are allowed. But I think they are a team who might be well served with a manager too.
Yeah,
they could. Like, I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. I just feel like they might have some fun with a manager, like one of the 205 Live guys, or someone. I don't know, like a Noam Dar.
Well, look, they create a stable with Becky. They could create a whole stable with Becky and then like 2 other people.
I'd be into that too. I would definitely be into that.
It's good to go right there.
Sign me up.
Yeah. Bring me Mandy. All right. Anyway, moving on to Ty Dillinger taking on Randy Orton. Of course, Ty was upset about what happened last week with Orton beating him up. So Orton got to beat him up some more. Dillinger came out initially with a lot of offense, but then Orton took him and DDT'd him off the freaking mat. Then took a buckle off the turnbuckle that took it off and rubbed his face into the metal. It was ended up being a no contest, but it was nasty. It was not good. And I don't know if it's their way of saying Ty Dillinger is done, or if they're trying to push Ty Dillinger now to come back from this kind of injury. What do you think?
So first and foremost, I agree with you. Like, I liked it. I
liked the match too.
I liked just in general. Like, it was like it served a lot of good purposes. I liked Ty Dillinger's fire at the beginning. Like, I was like, who knew Ty Dillinger had this in him? Like, but it makes sense. I mean, if you're going to maximize the opportunity being given to you, like, if you're getting a chance to go up against Randy Orton and you're going to get like this much offense in the match, might as well make the most of it. And so I liked that. I wonder if Ty Dillinger is going to be a what's the word I'm looking for? To kind of like give Randy Orton something to do, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Until AJ Styles loses the title or something like that. Because I have a feeling.
You think they're gonna roll Randy into this?
I think that this all I've been like thinking about it, had people tweet to me, and it makes sense. I think this whole next subject or next target or whatever. I think AJ is the target that he's talking about.
Wow.
And he's waiting in the his weirdo Randy is waiting in the wings for the right time to strike when it comes to AJ Styles. And even though it won't make a lot of sense to wait till he's not champion anymore,
right.
I just had this feeling like as soon as he loses the title, Randy's going to be there, and that's the one that he's taking out next. Yeah. And that Ty Dillinger could keep him busy because he did the whole like, F this guy. He just bugs me last week.
Yeah.
But now, like, he stepped it up a little bit. Yeah. You know, Ty got some offense in. And
look,
then
if you're fighting for your career, you're going to put it on the line, man. You're right.
I liked it. Yeah. You know, I also wouldn't mind though if this was done like to a change of character for Ty Dillinger.
Yeah.
And because he can't do the 10 thing, because one of his fingers is broken. I do kind of like that angle of it, that he can't do the 10 thing anymore, so he's all sad, and then he's like trying to wrestle, but he can't. He like stops himself, and it's like a thing for a while until he finally until his finger is good again and it can work, and he's finally like, yeah, and he can. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I can get behind that a little bit. So, but I also wouldn't mind them using this as a reason for why he just doesn't do the 10 thing anymore either, because I'm kind of over it. But either way, I liked it.
Well, how can I can. There's no top 9. I can't do a top 9. This is going into a deep depression about it.
We already recorded an hour and a half of this show.
You know what? He'll have to go see the counselor who helped Daniel Bryan and Kane to deal with the loss of his finger and how if he's still a whole man even with a broken finger.
Wait, completely non-wrestling related side note.
Go ahead.
You saw Venom?
I did.
Okay, because I saw you tweet about it. Not good.
I did not enjoy it.
It's spoiler free. I'm not asking for spoilers. I'm going to probably see it too.
Tom Hardy and Venom, when they come together near the end, I don't know, when they come together in the film, I enjoy when they come together because their back and forth is actually very interesting. It's the only reason to watch the film. But everything around it to me is built of paper mache and falls apart quickly. And if you're a fan of 90s era superhero movies like Spawn, not Blade, Spawn, then you might enjoy this. But if you're not a fan, I got a feeling you won't.
So it's very like pre-Marvel movie.
Yeah. Very.
Superhero-y kind of. Those were so
like what The Crow and Blade got right, but Spawn got wrong. That Venom is in the Spawn camp.
I low-key always liked Spawn as a kid, but not like cinematic. I just liked the way it looked, you know. But it got a lot of run, and I like John Leguizamo, so you know.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah. Wait, real fast, because you mentioned Blade too. This is just another thing that came up on our show recently. Since you love Blade,
I do.
Jamie, my co-host, he said that he's always wanted to be Blade for Halloween, but doesn't.
Is this a dangerous thing? Are you walking me into a minefield?
No. We had a whole conversation on the show about it.
Okay.
Is it bad if he were to dress like if
he could dress up as Blade?
That's what I'm saying. Not
can't put
blackface.
blackface.
No, we told him this. We said,
of course,
as long as you don't wear blackface, like you can dress up as Blade for Halloween.
Yeah, no one have a problem with that,
right?
Yeah, but it's out of respect. People cosplay as Blade all the time at Comic-Cons.
He said because of the hair. He said it was
what a Jerry curl.
Well, he said like.
He's not going to put a fur on.
When we were talking about this off air, he said that like the main reason is because like it wouldn't look like a good cosplay of Blade if he had his hair. He'd have to have like Blade-like hair, and that would kind of be pushing the boundaries a little bit.
Oh no, because people have black hair.
That's what I said.
Yeah, people have black hair. If he dyed his hair and cut it that way to make it look like it, fine. If he's putting a black man's wig on, then that's a whole nother conversation.
Exactly.
He's putting fro on, then we got a whole other conversation to be having because I don't think that's a smart move. But Jamie does what Jamie's his own person. He can do what he likes.
He's already moved on to other costume ideas. He's texting me his other costume idea today, actually. But we had a whole couple of the show about it. But I went to Erica and I was talking to my girlfriend about it. And I was like, "Is that bad?" She said the same thing. She's like, "No, as long as he isn't wearing blackface." And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure as long as he's not wearing blackface, it's okay. He's not gonna do it.
That's a shame.
very adamantly not doing it, but I keep telling him I support it, but he doesn't listen to me.
Well, Jillian Hough got in trouble like a few years ago when she dressed up as Crazy Eyes from Orange Is the New Black, and she wore blackface. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, why do people think like that to me is mind blowing how stupid that is. It's like, look, you can have one thing. You're allowed to not have one thing. You know what I'm saying? You've got a bunch of things in your world that you can do and act like and dress like. I'm sorry, you can't dress up like a black person and put blackface on. You can dress up like the character. You can't put blackface on. Sorry, no. That's just how this works.
You probably shouldn't technically dress up as the character either, but I feel like Blade is being a superhero.
Blade is awesome.
Like, it'd be like...
People love Blade, too.
Yeah,
I would dress up as Blade.
Thank you.
If I was in shape, I would dress up as Blade.
And Jamie's in shape.
Jamie is in shape. So, speaking of two other people in shape, Rusev and Lana were up into the ring with Aiden English, who's also, he should not wear black. I would take way too much blackface to make him look black. Aiden English, who is so pasty. He said, no, I wouldn't want to. I don't want to. He's so pasty. But he was in there, and they showed the video of the Milwaukee thing, and just as we were afraid of, man, the fight between Lana and Rusev broke out in the ring. Rusev stormed off, and he got booed because he heard this "I want you" thing from her accent. I still believe there's two Lanas. I think that's the thing that they're going to find a way to create this. There's two Lanas. She's schizophrenic. There's the Russian who's sleeping with English, and there's the regular speaker with no accent who's the wife of Rusev. So, what did you think of this whole segment? Did you buy it, or did you think it was cheap?
I liked it.
Okay.
I bought it.
Okay.
It seemed like classic heel stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously the tape is going to be longer.
Yeah, because it was cut off. It was kind of edited.
It was kind of edited. It's clearly going to be part of a longer thing where she says, like, I want you to help me with Rusev and get him this present or something like that.
Right.
It's clearly going to be something like that.
Yeah. Or she's on the phone with Rusev saying, I want you, and he's just recording it, like, editing it in a certain way.
There's going to be some trickery afoot here. Now, I liked... I enjoyed it for what it was. I the one night in Milwaukee name.
I mean, it's just great.
Cracked me up.
Well, I think it's dangerous, though. I do think it's dangerous a little bit. Don't you? Because it's One Night in China is what China's porn was called. That's dangerous.
That's funny. I didn't even.
That's my problem with it. I mean, they haven't shit on China enough that they don't think One Night in Milwaukee won't elude.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
All right, yeah.
Like, how does Triple H not catch this?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I guess that's kind of a good point. I didn't think of it that way. James was saying the same thing to me. James McKenna, who works inside his top 5.
Yeah.
And I didn't really think of it that way. He was just like, come on, dude. And I was like... Yeah, that made me laugh, but I guess, okay, good, fair point. Fair point to you and James.
Well, I'm not trying to win the argument. I'm just saying, like, this is what it could allude to.
I guess what you guys are right. I guess that's a little too extreme of a name for considering the China relationship and everything. Right. I guess I didn't think of it that way. Yeah, okay, fine, fair enough. Yeah, I guess it was kind of, they could have thought of another name. Like, what else could you have called it? Like...
I don't know.
Is there any other famous porn titles? There's Debbie Does Dallas.
Sure.
But that wouldn't work.
Right.
I couldn't say like Lana Does Milwaukee.
No.
That would not have been
appropriate.
terrible.
Yeah. Well, I don't, I don't know a lot about porn titles, so I don't.
But there are like famous, I think there's a Green Door or whatever.
Oh, yeah, Behind the Green Door.
Yeah, Behind the Green Door.
Not that I know about it. No, the legendary porn titles are back from back then. Yeah, because not now.
Yeah, because none of those would. Yeah. Yeah, they probably could have thought of a better name. They could have just said something. Yeah, they could have thought of something.
Yeah, but they got their point across that it was a little bit of a relationship or sexual relations possibly between Aiden English and Lana.
As we all know, Vince likes to blend reality and fiction a little bit.
Yeah.
Also likes to rib people a little bit. Do you think that the whole TMZ mention at the end, where they said...
You would know.
Well, wait until I finish the question. So at the end of it, Aiden said, I cut off the video. I ended the video here due to legal reasons. I'm in discussions with TMZ right now about buying the video or whatever. Do you think that this was Vince kind of ribbing Lana a little bit for that picture that landed on TMZ a few years ago when they showed they were getting engaged and it killed the whole storyline on TV?
Absolutely.
It feels that way, right?
He's got a long memory, that
Vince.
Vince.
He's old, but he's got a good memory, that Vince.
And he writes it down, puts in a file. Man.
He just goes to his manila envelope titled Lana Ribs. There's that TMZ thing.
It's titled People I Haven't Got Revenge On Yet. That's what it is. And it's just, he's got a list. He's got like Steve Buscemi and what is it, Billy Madison, when he's with the lipstick, he's like scratching people off his list.
Oh my God, just Vince turning around like, all right, scratch Lana off that list.
I'm gonna kill it. My creation, Lana.
But I thought it was funny because I honestly don't think a lot of people even remember that, and maybe
it's so far.
It's so far long ago. Yeah. I mainly remember it because I was working there at the time and stuff. But I just remember that picture ended up on TMZ was just like everyone was like right. And so like
keep it.
But that whole thing was funny, man. Like remember that was whole cold fish thing when he threw the fish. One of my favorite Rusev moments. Yeah. That was one of my favorite Rusev moments. But I really felt like this was a little bit of a throwback to that. A little bit.
Two birds with one stone.
Yeah, because this is the first time they've tried to do any kind of split with them since that.
Yeah.
And that was years ago.
Right.
So I thought it had to be a little bit of a throwback to that. So, unless I'm crazy.
I think it absolutely had to be a throwback to that.
Yeah.
You do purposely name drop TMZ. That's a shot to them.
It had to be. It had to be.
It's not like they've forgotten about almost getting fired for doing that shit on TMZ. No. They know.
The other thing I was going to say is I really thought it was silly of WWE to do this. Now, I get it. I get that everyone's not watching Mixed Match Challenge. But I thought it was very silly of WWE to do this one night in Milwaukee angle where there's dissension between Lana and Rusev, then have them wrestle on Mixed Match Challenge as a team right afterwards and like joke around and be dancing in the ring and doing Rikishi stuff. Like you would think Rusev would be very angry and ready to attack. So I don't know. I thought it was weird to do that, but also not everyone's watching Mixed Match Challenge, and it's kind of not part of canon. So I also get that.
It's the legends. It's legends section of the canon.
Yeah, very much so. I saw that. I read an article right before we started this on the Wrap where it said that Facebook Watch is having trouble with viewership too.
Oh, really?
In general, like I think it's like the 1 year anniversary today of Facebook Watch. Wow. And I was like, just make Michael Cole explain it to them. You know, like that's what he does on Raw. Maybe it'll work on other shows.
That's a great point. He's got to go.
Michael Cole?
He's got to go.
Oh, no way.
He's got to move up. Put Renee in that spot. That's just the way I feel, dude. We got to move on from life. He's done it long enough. JR did it long enough. Cole did it long enough.
You thought the time was good for JR to go when he went?
No.
Yeah, see?
But I also love JR way more than I ever loved Michael Cole. No offense to Michael Cole, but JR is a whole nother animal.
Also,
man.
I really think that like when Vince isn't around anymore, I just think when Vince isn't around anymore,
what do you think's gonna happen?
Is that Michael Cole? You won't feel that way about Michael Cole because if you watch like those network specials like Mae Young Classic or really any of the ones where Vince isn't in his ear and he's allowed to do what he wants, he's like a great announcer. Like honestly, like on Mae Young Classic, also, I am pleasantly I enjoy the hell out of Michael Cole's commentary.
Fascinating.
And I know that on Raw he has a ton of things he has to promote. He's got to promote this and that, and he's talking about this later in the night and what happened yesterday and what on social media. I get it. That's what that job entails, and it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not just play-by-play anymore. Right. It's a lot that goes into that. Like that job is. I couldn't imagine how difficult that job would be.
You got to constantly be aware of the facts of the story, constantly promote the right beats in the story as the matches go along for each of the matches,
and promoting the company.
Yeah, promoting
the apps,
so everything is right there in front of them. But you still have to do
3-hour promotional machine. You know, you're not the announcer. Like you think, like everyone's like, oh,
and Vince tells you what to say about the matches.
Yeah. I mean, Vince is in your ear. You're a promotional machine. You're not necessarily play-by-play of yesteryear. You know, and so. I mean, I think when the gloves are off a little bit and Michael Cole just allowed to do his thing as announcer, he's great. I think he's great.
Well, that's fair. That's a good point. Okay, all right. You know, I heard the other day, Shivani. I didn't know Shivani was still calling
shit. He's back, dude. He's back.
Yeah.
He's MLW.
Is that what it was? I was watching Major League Wrestling. Yeah. Well, I was flipping some kind of channel and it was on. I was like, what the hell is this? Tony Schiavone?
Yeah. No, he's fully back. He's doing the NWA show, too.
Wow.
Him and Jim Cornette are the announced team for that.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I know. I saw Jim Cornette. I was like, that doesn't make me want to watch your event. Listen, Jim Cornette in my ear for 3 hours.
If you're a federation and you're watching this by any chance, I will gladly work for half of what Cornette's getting paid. And I would do a better job than Cornette. Let me tell you something right now.
I like it. I like Rocha's confidence. That's why he's on this show.
Goddamn right, man. I can call those matches. Fuck, that drives me nuts. All right, anyway, because I hated when WCW brought on what's his name, the old dude with the receding hairline, and then the heavier dude that was
Mongo McMichael.
No, Michael. He was a wrestler, but no, the
Mark Madden.
Yeah, Mark Madden. I didn't like Mark Madden. I didn't like him either. Didn't like the skinny older dude with the receding hairline who's still calling matches.
Tenay?
Tenay. Tenay's a cool dude.
You don't like the professor?
But Tenay was like watching your grandpa call a match. Like he was like your uncle call a match. That's the thing that bothered me about that.
I'm with you on that.
It's time to have some new blood and some Latino blood. Get me in there. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with that last part too. But I do. Yeah, I'm with you on that other thing with Mike Tenay. It did always feel like you're like nerdy uncle kind of talking to you about it.
Like, what are you doing watching wrestling? Uncle James, Uncle Dweeb, why are you watching wrestling? It's not cool when you're watching it. Nothing against Mike Tenay. He's got a right to big a career as a successful guy. He can buy and sell me 1,000 times over. Anyway, Daniel Bryan taking on Shelton Benjamin. Especially talking about people from the past. Shelton Benjamin taking on Daniel Bryan. Right. This thing was back and forth. Benjamin, acquitted himself well. Benjamin's always a good wrestler.
Yeah.
That's never been the problem. Mm-mm. It's the character stuff. It's the getting over with the fans. It's always been all of that. And so he got some help from Miz in this situation, and then Benjamin ended up defeating Daniel Bryan. You tweeted about this. What did you say about it? You said, like, does this preview something else down the road, or what did you? I thought you tweeted about this.
From the Wrestling Sheet account. That was James last night.
I'm sorry, James tweeted that. Sorry, my bad.
Let me see what he said here. I'm pulling it up.
Yeah.
But hold on. Miz said thanks to Ms. Shelton. No, I don't think
he didn't tweet anything. Okay, I thought I saw something from there.
I don't think so. Nothing that I see. But anyways, okay. What do you think about Daniel Bryan losing to Shelton Benjamin?
I think Bryan's so Teflon now that it doesn't matter.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it doesn't matter if he wins or loses against Benjamin. Beating Benjamin doesn't help him in any way, shape, or form. But losing to Benjamin because of the Miz gives more blood to the rivalry, and so I don't mind that between Miz and Daniel Bryan. I don't mind that. And Shelton gets a little bit of a push in this situation. He is constantly being like, they trot him out every few weeks, and you're just like, well, how are they keeping it? Like, what are you doing in the meantime? That's what I want to know. Are you getting paid to just sit and train and lift weights and get ready and go to the performance center?
Definitely. Not Performance Center, but definitely the rest of that stuff.
Damn, that's incredible, man. To sit on and then eventually they'll figure something out for you.
Well, was Shinsuke even on the show?
Yeah, Nakamura wasn't on the show. That's right.
It's
a 2-hour show. It's too many people, man. There's not enough time.
There is just too many people, and that is both a blessing and a curse, I guess.
Yeah.
Because there are really talented people that aren't being used.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it. I said that Shelton Benjamin could maybe be Randy Orton's next target to give him something to do.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of okay if he just becomes like Miz's buddy if they go that route. Miz, does help people get over.
He does. Miz is great at it.
It did wonders for the B team.
Yes.
Yep. So I just think that if this is going to lead to something for Shelton Benjamin, then really him winning the match, he gains weight.
Absolutely.
Everyone
it helps
gains
him way more
out
than
of this than Daniel Bryan beating Shelton Benjamin. He goes back to catering. Does, So I liked it. I liked the intensity he showed.
Me too.
Those German suplexes look dope. I found it interesting that Daniel Bryan went on this tweet storm to defend Brie Bella this week and talked about how he accidentally kicked Andrade in the face a few weeks ago and Andrade got like kind of knocked out for a second. This match, I don't know if you noticed, but Daniel went to do his headbutt.
Yep.
And Shelton moved.
Yes, he did.
And he still landed on his head, like head to head, from jumping from the top rope like that. Yeah. It looked really painful. And they cut away for a little bit and just did a static shot on Miz to kind of like not show what was on the ring. Yeah. So we don't really know, but it definitely, I'm guessing, was a lot of checking and a lot of talking in ears to make sure they were okay. But nobody is like blasting either of those guys for hurting their opponent or anything like that, which I found interesting because they're both seasoned veterans. Yeah. But I just found it interesting. I really don't like him doing the move. I hate seeing that. I hate seeing the flying headbutt done by anybody more than I hate seeing a pile driver.
That's a great point.
The pile driver, honestly, there are times obviously when the pile drivers hurt people.
Yeah.
But the pile driver I see them do in the indies is not the same pile driver that I used to see them do back in the 90s during the Attitude Era, where it looked like their head was hitting the mat, the top of their head hitting the mat. When I see it now, I mean, their head they're landing like on their butthole when they're doing pile drivers. You know, like that's how angled back they are to protect the guy. I mean, it literally looks like you're hurting your tailbone more than you're hurting the guy's head. But at the same time, like the headbutt, you know about the risks of headshots.
Yeah.
I don't understand like why it's still a thing that's so heavily, and I don't understand why it's a thing that's so heavily done. And I know that headbutts have changed a little bit. It's not necessarily the flying headbutt of yesteryear like Chris Benoit was famous for. Right. But you still see a lot of headbutts.
You do.
And I don't know if I think that they should be done. I mean,
Strowman does it.
But
it's scary as shit when he does it.
Yeah. And I mean, Shibata had that headbutt, that wrestling from New Japan like a year and a half ago that put him out of action probably forever. You know, so I don't know. I really hate the headbutt, and knowing Daniel's history of what we all had to witness, I don't know why it's something they're allowing him to do.
Here's an argument as well for Brie. How come no one hated Goldberg for knocking out Bret Hart? It gave him a concussion. Bret Hart's never been the same.
No.
Never been the same.
No,
Liv Morgan was wrestling a week later.
He ended his career.
He ended his career.
Yeah.
And they put Goldberg in the Hall of Fame. People cheered for him when he won the title against Brock, which was complete horseshit. And he was there. And so where was that kind of anger towards him like they had against Brie? That shit was just, people were just waiting for an excuse. People were just waiting for an excuse to go after them. It's not that she's dangerous in the ring. It's just that they're waiting for an excuse.
It reminds me a lot of this thing that I've been harping on for the past 24 hours on Twitter, which I know I sometimes get really focused on things, and I don't let it go until I feel like I have beaten it to death. But this ratings thing, you know, where everyone picks apart the ratings.
Yeah.
And it's like, most of the people picking apart the ratings don't really understand that the entertainment industry doesn't hold ratings to the same high standard they used to, or they have the same weight or importance that they used to. But people are still like, WWE this is a terrible, scary trend for WWE. They've had back-to-back all-time low ratings. And it's like, if you go look at ratings websites, which I follow all those ratings websites, that's literally like a daily headline, all-time low rating for every big show like that. But that's not what the household ratings isn't what matters. It's the demos. It's like, it's how much people are talking about it. You know, it's what age group is watching the show, what it's relevant with, who people are, if it's creating a conversation. Like, these are things that advertisers want today.
Right.
Does the show trend every week? Then you're going to get advertisers that are coming in, because everyone is like, there's hundreds upon thousands of people talking about it. So advertisers want to get in on that.
Yeah.
So it's like, with the Brie Bella thing, it was like everyone mad or you know, saying how terrible she is and stuff. All people who don't work in the industry. Yeah. Everyone who works in the industry is like, it happens to everyone. Everyone gets injured. It's a thing that happens.
In the indies.
It shouldn't be a thing that she retires over. It happens. Accidents happen in the industry. Right. Then everyone knows. And then the ratings thing. It's like, WWE is in terrible condition. Like, Fox isn't going to take them because they're all-time low ratings. It's like, that's not... The amount of low ratings that WWE would have to get canceled would be so... It would have to be so astronomically low.
And consistently for months.
Probably a year. And even that, if there was still hundreds of websites devoted to covering it, first of all, just that alone means it wouldn't get that low.
Right.
You know? But even so, it would... Even if that happened, they have their own network in place that they could afford to do themselves and do it differently if they got canceled.
Yeah.
Most television shows where it's tracked what the ratings are and stuff don't have that ability. Like, maybe they're going to get picked up by a Hulu or a Netflix or something like that, but they don't have the ability to just go like, oh, you canceled me? We're going to go to, the Girl Project Network, or whatever. I'm trying to think of a show that's been canceled that people were mad about. But
Right.
Time Travelers or whatever. What was that one time traveler show everyone was mad about recently?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, the one on NBC.
Yeah, that one.
I forget
what it was called. But yeah, so it frustrates me when people are so angry unnecessarily. It's like, there are things to be angry about.
Yeah.
This is not one of them.
Well, and also it's also people that don't have a history of watching wrestling for a long time, because I've watched it for over 30 years, 35 years probably. And the thing is this, wrestling is always going up and down in the ratings. Always. They always have their high, they run their high, and then it starts to drop a little bit. Then they make some adjustments, go back on a run. That's how it works consistently. You don't have a show, and this is essentially a show on for what, almost 20 years, 25 years, consistently scoring the ratings that it does overall and average-wise. If you don't have people coming back to rediscover it, new generations of people coming back to rediscover it. So it's a franchise, it's a property that is constantly being discovered by younger generations, and they go on a run of it and they watch all the stuff. You wouldn't be able to support a WWE network, the network, not just Raw and SmackDown, the network, if you didn't have enough people patronizing it. So that's the thing, that the hunger for professional wrestling is very powerful. Are people tuning in every night for Raw or SmackDown? Maybe not the levels they were before, but that'll start to change as soon as they get some other thing in there. That'll go right up.
But that's also because viewing habits, man.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
I don't watch live on my TV.
Yeah, no, I watch it on. I watch it recorded on my DVR.
Watch it on DVR, or if I want to watch live, since we're on the West Coast, I have to watch on a streaming site. I have cable. Yeah. I DVR it. I can't always watch it on TV because I want to watch live to cover it for you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and there are tons of people like me. There are also tons of people my age. Mm-hmm. I am one of the only people my age who has cable. Most people my age don't have cable anymore. Yeah. They all are watching torrents or websites they find online. They're all trying to do cable cutting, cord cutting or whatever. And people are like, well, 3 years ago, there was a lot of people. Yeah. Cord cutting started about not started, but has gotten more and more popular the past couple of years because of streaming services, because of all these things. And those aren't factored into the ratings at all. In fact, something that most people don't understand, I know you know this, but most people don't even understand that if they turn on their TV at home and watch something, that doesn't factor into the ratings.
Not unless you're a Nielsen house. It doesn't factor into the ratings.
But most people don't understand that. Yeah. Most people think that if they're watching their favorite show, they're supporting it in the ratings. And that's not how the rating systems work. So I'm sorry I got into a tangent there. I know we're talking about SmackDown, but I that one drove me crazy today. And it was last week it was Brie Bella. This week it was this week it's now becoming ratings. So.
It drove me crazy. We had to believe that Peyton and Royce could take care of Asuka. We had to suffer through that damn match.
You didn't like that match at all?
No. Completely. Asuka was an undefeated champion, destroying. Look, you can't say out of one side of your mouth you love Ronda squashing people, and then you're okay with a long match with Peyton Royce.
But I can say
Asuka.
The same thing to
That's
you.
That's not possible.
But I can say the same thing to you. And now I'm pissed that you guys can't see yesterday's episode, because this is where it all came down to, and now we're gonna get into it again.
Okay, here we go.
Organically
found our way there.
To catch you guys up, because you obviously weren't able to hear last week's or yesterday's episode. I obviously felt like I believe that Ronda Rousey is the number one star in the company, and
male or female.
I feel like she is the most famous person in the company, and she needs to be protected at all costs because of that. So because of that, I didn't like Ruby Riott dominating her for most of the match, shoving her face into the mat, all this stuff. Right? I feel like she needs to be protected, that she is going to be a huge money maker for WWE for a long time to come, and that as much as we all love Ruby Riott, as much as we all love the Riott Squad, she's not going to be at least while Ronda Rousey's in the company, she is not going to be pushed above Ronda Rousey. Therefore, I don't understand the point of doing this. Or why I did that. So now he's trying to throw it back on me, but I can say the same thing to you here,
I
Rocha.
guess you could.
Is you were so heavily on the other side where the Iconics are someone they're building up. They are.
Wait, but they have no.
There's someone they're building up.
Are you trying to compare the Iconics to the Riott Squad?
They literally came around like the same time. They're literally like the same thing.
I will take Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan over Billie Kay and Peyton Royce at any stage of their career.
I'm not comparing their technical
but that's what
prowess.
I'm saying. You can't choose.
I agree their technical prowess. I would as the Riott Squad are better wrestlers than the Iconics. Absolutely, no questions asked, no argument.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about if we're looking on a chart here, right? If we've got an importance chart where you fit on the card.
Okay.
Riot Squad is in the exact same place as the Iconics are on SmackDown in terms of like TV time, the way they're used, all that kind of stuff. No, am I wrong?
No, you're right. TV time is the same. Yes, absolutely.
The way they're used, their position on the card, same, right?
Yep. No denying that.
So, I mean,
but you're asking the fans to buy into a believability, at least a suspension of disbelief, right? So if you're gonna. Which is easier to do with the Riot Squad because Ruby has great technical skills.
Okay.
And she's a good wrestler. The Iconics are divas. They're not necessarily, and nothing, look, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, I'm sure they work really hard at the Performance Center. And there's nothing, I'm not saying anything about their work ethic. I'm not saying anything about their dedication to the craft, their love of pro wrestling, nothing like that at all. I'm telling you what I see when I watch. And I do not see good technical wrestlers. I see wrestlers who are overdoing every move, don't have a rhythm, don't have a style that works. It's so obvious everything they're doing. It's frustrating. It's like Cena thing where he looks before he does the move. It drives me out of my effing mind. I like people like The Rock. I like people like Trish Stratus. I like who learned how to be good. Alexa's fantastic. I don't care what anybody says. Alexa is great at what she does in that ring. And the Riot Squad is the same thing. They have they do a great job of like making moves work. What she was doing with Ronda was great work. But you see Peyton Royce do things with Asuka, and it's so incredibly unbelievable because she's not at that technical level that Asuka is at. Just like Ruby Riott is at a higher technical level as a wrestler than Ronda is, but she's not as famous as Ronda, and Ronda has more powerful moves. But you can buy Ruby Riott giving Ronda a run for her money. You cannot buy Peyton Royce giving Asuka even 5 seconds of a run of her money.
I personally cannot buy Ruby Riott giving Ronda Rousey the time of the day because I have seen Ronda Rousey fight in MMA.
You have.
And she is a dominant badass.
And you've seen her lose twice, though, in MMA, too.
Yeah, but there wasn't just some Ruby Riott mid-card jabroni here. No offense.
Oh, you call it Ruby Riott a mid-card jabroni?
But I'm just saying the people that Ronda went up against were like fucking legit threats.
Yeah, of course. Holly Holm, very tough.
Tough. Tough as I'm joking. I don't think Ruby Riott's jabroni in the slightest bit. She'd kick my ass. Let's be honest here. But I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I got worked up there.
Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it? But okay, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I got worked up there, but I get what you're saying. I understand your point.
Yeah.
I just I don't dislike the Riot. Or sorry. Dislike the Iconics as much as you do.
Yeah.
So I couldn't find it. I wasn't so like aghast by it. I felt like I even thought that move she did was kind of cool where she did like that like gory special kind of a move. That's you didn't like that like gory special like And again, if you're not watching the show on video and you're only listening, go and watch the video on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/wrestling sheet, just to see Rocha's face right there. That look he gave me right there was just disgust. I liked it.
Once again, nothing against Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. Nothing against those ladies. They have a right to work. The WWE obviously loves them and wants to push them. They seem like nice people who are trying to make a name for themselves in this business. Nothing against it. I have to analyze this as I see it. And my opinion is they're terrible wrestlers.
Does this mean you're not going to be doing the Iconic Shuffle anytime soon?
No.
Or the Iconic Floss? Was that what it was called?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I'm a little outdated.
And Aaron Turner, you can kiss my ass. I don't care how much you like them and buy their shirts. They're terrible, and you effing know it.
No, they are not terrible. I am with you, Aaron Turner. I'm all about the Iconics. I'm a big fan. I enjoyed the match.
You did, really?
I really enjoyed the match.
Right.
Not like I was like, oh, go put it in, vote for the fucking match of the year or whatever.
Right.
But I think it's very, the problems that you have with the Iconics, I truly believe that it's similar to the Carmella situation. That they are playing a role that they are supposed to play. And that if they were told, go out there and have a 5-star match.
Right.
I'm not saying they'd be V-triggering each other and stuff, but what I am saying is I think that similar to Carmella, they could turn it up. They could tear it down. They could have matches, but that's not what they're supposed to do. This is not what they're supposed to be doing. These matches on SmackDown are vehicles to push storylines.
Right.
There are matches that are built up towards where those are supposed to be the epic matches. The ones in between are supposed to be time fillers.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, but they can still be good matches just because they're time fillers.
Can a 4-minute match really be good? Like, blow you away good.
If you can do a 3-minute comedy set, you can do a 4-minute wrestling match.
It's a good argument there.
That's all I'm saying. And I think there are good...
I think it's different, though, because
I could see a 4-minute rock match and love the shit out of it.
Could you see a 4-minute action movie and be into it?
No. An action movie, no. Well, maybe.
But that's what this is.
Maybe a short, but it'd have to be really good.
That's what I'm saying.
Like those BMW movies they did.
But you just put it right there.
Yeah.
The action movie would have to be really good for you to like that 4-minute match.
4 minutes, yes.
That's most wrestling matches. It's a 4-minute action movie, and they're just trying to push something forward. Yeah. So not every match can be really. So they come across as mediocre because they're only giving. I guess if you looked at this match, it would probably be like 4 minutes.
Yeah,
right?
probably.
It was
short.
I think it was. It was short. It was short. So
maybe it was rushed. Maybe it was near the end of the card, and the other matches took a little bit longer, so they had to rush through it. That's certainly possible. And if that's happening, then that's a real negative mark on WWE because they're not doing the Iconics a good service. They're undercutting them by putting them in this situation. And Asuka too.
That's true,
brother. That Asuka push. This is beyond infuriating for me.
Yeah, it's
Shinsuke
weird.
I can accept because Shinsuke is fun to mess around with, but like. Asuka, this is damn ridiculous. There's no reason she shouldn't find her way into some triple threat match with Charlotte and Becky. It should be those three, for God's sakes.
But it would feel so shoehorned right now.
Now it would, yes, absolutely. But they've got to find a way to get her back in this mix. She should never leave the main event picture ever. She is, to me, she's as iconic on SmackDown as Ronda is on Raw.
Asuka is?
Yeah. I think Asuka is as undefeatable. She is so powerful. I
see it more as... Asuka's the Sasha Banks.
Ooh, that's a terrible comparison.
Because Charlotte is the Ronda Rousey on SmackDown. So Charlotte and Ronda Rousey, the blonde girls.
Yeah, I guess.
Then there's the woman, the ethnic girl that everybody actually likes.
The pedigree,
that had a dope, solid NXT career.
That's true.
That people are actually want to see on TV. So I look
merch
at it,
they actually buy.
Merch they actually buy. Yeah, that kind of thing. So that's why I see it more on that level. Okay. And Sasha Banks is consistently not in the main event scene. And we're mad about it. I know that.
Sasha's great, dude.
So is Asuka.
Yeah.
But also, I think Asuka is better. Not better. Excuse me. I think Asuka is incredibly entertaining. I would say better than Sasha in that role. Because Sasha sometimes gets lost in the secondary role. Sometimes she gets so mad that she's not first that she gets, it seems like she's so focused on trying to get back to first that sometimes she doesn't get it because of that, you know? That she's not willing to kind of like, not willing, I shouldn't use those words, but like that she's not excited about being the secondary player. She wants to be the main event.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Asuka, she likes having fun.
Yeah.
Like Asuka did fun things when she was in Japan, you know.
And maybe that's different because that culture, right? The Japanese culture is very much not about like, I need to be number one. It's more about the overall.
That's what I would
everyone.
think. That's
like, what's best for everyone.
Yeah. And I feel like she is right now best utilized in a fun way. We've literally, since her inception in WWE, or since her debut in WWE, we had serious Asuka. We had serious Asuka for like 3 years now.
We did.
I'm cool with her having like fun. Yeah. And we get to see the fun side of her. And
with
then
Naomi,
and then all of a sudden she's going to realize that she's not champion. Yeah. And she's going to turn it on. And so I don't see this as some doom and gloomy situation for Asuka. I just see it as like, just kind of like we were saying before with Shelton Benjamin, like, there's only so much room for talent on the show.
True.
At least they're using her.
Yeah.
I would be more mad. I would be angrier.
Yeah, if they weren't using her at all.
If they just weren't using Asuka at all.
For like months. Letting her sit at the...
Just letting her sit in catering.
No.
I'd be furious. Because I think that she is a special talent that should be used, that is someone that people really, really enjoy watching.
Yep.
I just don't think that, like, having her do fun things is, like, the worst for her.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I like her having fun and doing the things she's doing as well.
Yeah.
I just want her in the main picture.
I would love her back there too, trust me.
I'm sure it's coming, like you said. I'm sure eventually they'll find their way back to it. All right, well, let's wrap up by talking about Becky. Speaking of someone who's in the main picture, Becky Lynch came out, did her thing, did a nice little promo, showed a video of the many victories she had over Charlotte Flair, or supposed victories she had. And then she was saying how Triple H and Undertaker is not the reason to watch it. My match with Charlotte, blah, blah, blah. Really good promo, I thought. I mean, they unearthed something here that's just so much fun to watch. And you keep waiting for it to fail every week, thinking it might go back to old Becky, and it doesn't. And who knows what she was waiting for, man.
Is this the second week in a row she main evented with like a talking segment too? That's pretty impressive. I
agree.
To like put it in perspective of like the way they ended Raw this week was Shawn Michaels Undertaker, Kane, and Triple H, and then a talking segment ends SmackDown with Becky Lynch and Charlotte.
Yeah.
Not even really Charlotte, mostly Becky Lynch for the most part. Like,
Yep.
Charlotte came in at the end, but Becky Lynch was handling most of that.
Yep.
And it was very entertaining. Like, they're definitely making it hard for you to boo her, though. I mean, like,
but they booed Charlotte.
They definitely booed Charlotte. They definitely booed Charlotte. So I'm interested to see how long they really try to stick with getting her.
I like this though. I like it.
Do you?
It's Stone Cold, man.
Yeah.
It's Stone Cold too was the same way when he had that match against Bret Hart. He thought he was still a heel for a little while longer, and so he'd come out and do those promos, and the fans were loving him and cheering him. And eventually, it turned. This thing, same thing. She's an anti-hero. The same thing will happen. The fans eventually they'll figure out how to work her storyline and make it work. So she's an anti-hero through this whole thing, and she will team up with Charlotte again. As God is my witness, she will team up with Charlotte again in a different way. Like they'll have different respect for each other, and that'll be fun to watch. Because if those two start going on a run for a tag team title, like if they do female tag team titles and it's across both brands, Raw and SmackDown, you can't tell me there's not a better team than Charlotte and Becky Lynch. You could throw me Asuka and Ronda, I guess, but you can't throw me a better team than those. Or maybe Alexa Bliss and Ronda, but
the Iconics.
Yeah,
you almost agreed with me. He was almost so in the zone. It was like an Anchorman scenario where like I had something on the cue card. Yeah.
Stay classy, San Diego. No.
But you're right. I think you're right in that sense. I think the same thing. I think that they're doing this so that it's not so odd when they eventually do a 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen.
Absolutely, they will. Absolutely, they will.
I think so too. I think this is kind of all being done as like it helps Becky, but also down the line, it'll make the 4 horsewomen stronger when they all come back together and everyone's like buddy again. Yep. And you know what? At the end of the day, I'm just happy that Becky Lynch is not only, getting a new character, but that she's becoming one of the most entertaining parts of the show.
Yes.
I mean, that's really cool. I mean, to go from being one of those catering people that we were referring to now ending the show as like as like the champion, as like a dominant thing, like even though she got into it with Charlotte, just like ending the show in the way that she was, the way that she was positioned. Huge for her.
Yeah.
Like huge for Becky Lynch.
Thoroughly agree.
And I always love when wrestlers use Photoshop. So
it's the best.
In fact, I think it was this week. Yeah, it was this week. It was the one night in Milwaukee thing where a production person said to like Aiden backstage during the thing where they were like talking about like, coming up next, one night in Milwaukee. And Aiden said to the guy, or the guy said to Aiden, like, we've got everything ready in the truck for you. And I was like, we never hear that. Finally they acknowledge that this wrestler had to pass something to someone in the production truck to get this segment through. As a producer and as someone who works in television, that shit bothers me. That we're always just to assume that these guys have it like. I always assume they've made these things themselves.
Yeah.
That they're like on their computer, photoshopping their head into things, and then they got to email it to someone. So I like that they acknowledged it with Aiden this week.
Yeah.
But Becky had the better photo. Her Photoshop was great.
Yeah.
And I like that she tweeted the picture of it on social media.
Oh my God.
Since it was since you guys got rid of it so fast, here's the picture.
She's doing great work. And they're all buying into it, which I like.
Yeah.
Like WWE on their side as well, so it's a lot of fun.
I'm excited to see once Super Showdown is over what they say next. Because I'm assuming...
And she's right, by the way. I'm not looking forward to Triple H Undertaker. Or the tag match. I'm looking forward to Becky and Charlotte.
I'm looking forward to Becky versus Charlotte and AJ versus Samoa Joe.
Yes.
So much more than I'm looking forward to the 6-man tag on Raw and Undertaker versus Triple H, which are the 2 main things that are being promoted on each show.
It's interesting because the Khabib-Conor McGregor match is Saturday night as well.
Oh, and that's Super Showdown's like at 2 in the morning, right?
Yeah. So, I'm going to have to wake up and watch it. I'll have to roll out of bed to not wake up my girlfriend, sneak out into the fucking living room and put it on.
You sound like you're Santa Claus.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
I'm going to have to go up the chimney. I'm going to have to eat those cookies, drink the milk.
And And I have to not yell at the screen when the Iconics win a tag match against Asuka and Naomi, but I'm going to do it.
Oh my God, it's going to be so funny when your girlfriend wakes up because you're screaming about
it's bullshit.
The bullshit occurred in Australia. And then your girlfriend comes walking out like, what's going on in here? You're like, the Iconics. It's the Iconics.
She already gives me the side eye when I'm watching wrestling.
And then your girlfriend starts doing the iconic floss.
Stop it. No
Sorry.
way. And does an Australian accent. And goes, boo-hoo. All right, anyway. Thanks, everybody, for watching. This has been another episode of Collider Body Slam SmackDown Live Recap. We did give you a little bit of Raw, so they got snuck in there somehow, so that's a good thing. And hopefully nobody walks through the door and tells us.
I know, I'm so scared that
Ryan will explode.
Thad's going to stick his head in here any minute and be like, hey, guys, there was a problem. Remsen said he was going to keep checking that it wouldn't happen. So.
Tell them everything they need to know, brother.
Okay, well, youtube.com/c/wrestling sheet. That's where you can watch the video of this. That's where you can watch our recaps. That's where you can watch the news hit videos that we do, lists, I posted a bunch of press conference videos from the New Japan show this weekend. So there's press conference footage from Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. There's awesome post-match press conference from Cody Rhodes. Cool. I really like the Guerrillas of Destiny one too, like the Tamatanga Tongaloa. Those guys are so cool. I love it. That awesome stuff. So go check out youtube.com/c/wrestling sheet. That's where all the footage goes, video wise. And while you're there, please subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. Helps us out a lot. Helps keep the computers from not crashing, all that. So so please like, share, subscribe, comment, tell your friends about the show if you dig it. It really helps us out a lot. Helps out Collider, helps out Pro Wrestling Sheet. Also, if you're watching the video, go check out our audio feed, Podcast 1, Wrestling Sheet Radio. You can search it on the wrestling feeds, on the podcast feeds. You can find Top 5 with James and Kevin, where they talk about different lists every week of stuff they're enjoying. You can find Best of the Rest with Rachel Sam Evans and Aaron Turner, where they talk about everything that's not on Raw and SmackDown. So they talk about a lot of NXT, Lucha Underground, and everything in between. They do indie wrestler profiles, lots of good stuff there. And yeah, go follow me on social media at Ryan Satin all across the board, and it's ProWrestlingSheet.com, at Wrestling Sheet on all social media as well. Also, if you are here watching the video, go check out everything Collider is doing. Collider videos. They've got tons of stuff there, including Collider Sports, which you've been all over lately. Yeah. A lot of stuff going on there. Collider Sports. We do every Monday a Collider Sports Time show, which is essentially our sports center of Collider, covering all the top news stories, including the NFL. And now we're starting ramping up into the Major League Baseball playoffs. We're going to start talking about that. NBA season's right around the corner. So much there. It's a separate podcast feed. It's a separate YouTube channel, Collider Sports. Subscribe to it. We got stuff with Talking the Lions on Sportsbook, Premier League recap for the English Premier League over the weekend. We talk about that. Dennis hosts an MMA takedown. If you're a big fan of UFC MMA, Brock Lesnar. That's all there. We cover it all. So go subscribe. And we got more stuff coming down the line, more fun, new, interesting programs coming down the line. So go and subscribe and watch that stuff there. And you already told them where to follow you, right? You can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. And it's always a blast to do these shows, even when they're not recorded. So, Ryan, I know we're a little sad about it yesterday, but this was a lot of fun as well once again. So thanks, brother. It's always fun every week talking with this with you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. We'll talk to you guys next time on Collider Body Slam.
ProWrestlingSheet.com